What is going on, guys? Kiamimaro007 back with another Marvel's Contest to Champions video, and in today's video we're going to talk about Act 6.1, the Cavalier chapter, the chapter you need to complete to become Cavalier. It's the highest title in the game right now, and that's what I did recently. About, I think, a few days ago, day or two ago, I became Cavalier, right? And we're gonna talk about the paths. We're gonna talk about the bosses, some things you need to do, maybe some champion suggestions, some path suggestions for some of you, right? We're just gonna go through Act 6.1 basically, right? So, and of course we're gonna have the rewards crystal opening at the end, but we'll kick it off with the Sabertooth mission quest here, right? And this one is no retreat. And for those of you who don't know, no retreat basically means that if you dash back, you get a degen timer on you, right? And if you dash back while that passive degen timer is on you, you're going to gain a passive degen, degenerating 200% of the defender's attack as direct damage over 5 seconds. So basically you don't want to be dexing twice in a row, you don't want to be dashing back twice in a row, right? So my suggestion is get a little bit of practice before you do this chapter. Go in, fight any of the four champions here first, right? Elektra, Joe Fixit, or Moon Knight, and just go in and practice and get like into the flow of not dexing backwards or dashing backwards twice in 2 seconds. The path I suggest is Agent Venom, right? The other paths, I'm not saying this is the easiest path per se, but the other paths, I mean, I don't really want to be dealing with Morning Star, don't want to be dealing with Void kind of thing, don't want to be dealing with Kingpin, Night Thrasher, Yellow Jacket. So I just decided to go with Agent Venom, not too hard to fight, right? And then Red Skull, Iron Patriot, Punisher 2099, Nebula, and Gambit, and then you port straight to not straight to you port over here. They really want you to use all your energy in one chapter, right? At one mission, and then you move to the Sabertooth boss. Sabertooth, not too hard to fight, right? Decimation, right? So basically he's gonna have more attack to start the fight with. If you use a mutant, Oscillate, he's switching between Fury and Armor Up, right? Optimus, when he's below 25% health, he has Armor Up, House Steel, Fury, right? And then the Indomitable is basically you cannot reverse his healing, so don't count on champions like Void, right, or Guillotine to reverse his healing. Try and reverse heal him so that you don't really have to fight him. You can only stop his healing, so I mean, that's not to say that you can't use a petrified champion, right? Like Captain America, Infinity War, right? He's a good champion, right? You get a petrify on him, stop his healing, and then you can just fight him normally. Otherwise, Sabertooth isn't too hard. Big suggestion obviously goes to Archangel. If you have a 5-star Archangel, you got this fight. Archangel stops healing anyway with his stooped ability, right? And the neurotoxins just mow down this champion. Otherwise, like I said, Captain America, Infinity War, or any like high damage dealing champion, Corvus Glaive, Captain Marvel movie, Hyperion, they'll get the job done eventually. Just remember, no retreat is of course on the boss too, right? And the overarching theme with Act 6 is basically you cannot use any champions below 5 and 6 star. So you cannot use 4 stars, 3 stars, all of that. So even if you have the perfect champion for this chapter, if they're not 5 or 6 star, you can't use them. But we're going into the next like match quest thing, right? And we have an Ultron Boss here. So with this path, I'm not gonna say which path I suggest you guys go. It really depends on your champions, right? So I had Domino, so I decided to go the skill path. She really owns the skill path. If you guys have a 5-star Domino, 6-star Domino, unduped, duped, doesn't matter, right? She'll own this skill path with Agent Venom on it, right? And then you port straight to the Sentinel, right? And this Sentinel is basically he's got Biohazard and Arc Overload. So it's, if you have bleed immune champions, right, obviously perfect for this. I used Quake, right? His health isn't too high. I think it's about 200k or 100 and something k health, right? So it's not too high, but I suggest Quake if you have Quake. of course, right? Otherwise, a clairvoyant, Luke Cage, if you have a Luke Cage. If you have Captain America Infinity War at a very high SIG level, he's perfect for this too. Otherwise, any of your bleed immune champions should do the trick. It's Sentinel, you know, he's not really a problem, right? And he has no regen, so if you want to use the revive method, you can just go in, revive, go in, do your damage with a high damage champion like Captain Marvel, Movie, Hyperion, or Corvus, and then back out, go back in kind of thing, right? And then you have the Ultron here. Not really anything special. Aggression, armor, spry, EMP modifications, possibly the thing you want to look at most, right? And then backup recovery and spite. But you know, not really a problem. Like a same thing with the Sentinel. You can just bring in a very high damage dealing champion, your Hyperion, your Captain Marvel, Movie, Corvus. They'll do the trick. They'll probably be able to take him down in one shot. Otherwise, you can just use a revive them back up, and then take out that Ultron the second time, right? This isn't the hardest chapter. It's probably like third hardest maybe, but not that hard, right? If you're doing Act 6, you probably have the capabilities of doing this first chapter when it comes to those first few fights, but we're getting to the real hard stuff a little bit later. But then we have Father's Concern here with the Ghost Boss, and these next two are going to be really easy. They're really not a problem at all, right? The global node here, I think, yeah, long distance relationship, that is not a problem at all. And big suggestion would be getting what's called willpower, right? If you don't already have willpower, chuck a mastery point into willpower, and you can basically stay topped up with health throughout this entire chapter, right? Old Man Logan, this is my suggested path. Old Man Logan, right? They have no nodes on them, so Old Man Logan, Vision, Deadpool, right? And then you get to a thing, everybody has to fight thing eventually, so that's fine. And then you get to the Ghost Boss, right? Limber, True Strike, Aggression, Cruelty, and Godslayer. Not too bad of a fight, I think. Nothing to really worry about. It's just a ghost. Armor Break Champion would be great, because then you can just get out of the phase, right? You could stop her from phasing. Otherwise, any high damage dealing cosmic, so basically any champion really. No big suggestions for this mission. And then go to the next one, 6.1.4, right? The Loki. Same kind of theme when it comes to easiness, right? In this chapter, nothing too, in this mission, nothing too hard. We just go in, right? And the paths are up to you again, right? This is really dependent on the champions you have. I just went to, well, south-ish, right? And then I ported to these guys, no nodes on them. I don't think anybody really has nodes, yeah, except they're in the middle. But yeah, no nodes. Pretty easy champions to be fighting. And then you port straight to Loki, and I don't remember Loki being a problem, right? Force of Will, Dulled, Limber, and Enhanced Special 1. None of them really a problem. It's really easy to dex his special 1, right? And then close encounters being the node here. So basically, when you're close to the opponent, attacking them, or you're blocking near them, then you're gonna regenerate 1% of health, right? And then when you're away from them, right, out of close distance, then you are degenerating 3% health. But you can be really aggressive with these champions, right? So if you go on the path that I took, you can be really aggressive with them. Go out and you'll degen maybe 3% health because you're out for 1 second, and then you go back into hitting them, and you're regening the health back for the 3 seconds that you're hitting them, right, or standing close to them. So not really a problem, right? It's just got to be close to the opponents, which is not really a problem. You're going to be attacking them anyway, right? And then we have the first I think the hardest mission, right, and the first mission when it comes to difficulty in this chapter, and that's the Crossbones. Crossbones, the great Crossbones, the infamous Crossbones, right? So first we're going to talk about the global node, right, and that being power struggle. So you only gain a bar of power when the opponent gains a bar of power, and if they use a bar of power, right, you will lose the same amount of power that they've lost when doing their special, right? So yeah, you can't really rely on specials, but if you are going to use a special, you have to try and push the other champion to that special. So if you want to use a special 2, right, then you're gonna have to push the defender to a special 2 without baiting the special or them using it. But here we go. The path I took was I think this was an easy path, not really difficult. I used Void here, right, for most of these fights. We have the Superior Iron Man going all the way down to Winter Soldier. Then you port to the difficult boss, the most difficult boss in Act 6.1, and that's the Crossbones, right? And he's got Biohazard, he's got Vigor, and he's got Stun on his attacks, right? So with Vigor, which is kind of the main problem besides Biohazard, is every 15 seconds after the start of the fight, the defender regenerates 50% of the base health over 5 seconds. The timer refreshes when the defender reaches intervals of 25% now. So basically, he's going to regen his health back, right, if you don't manage to take him down 25% every let's say 15 seconds, right? So if you can't do the damage in time, then you got a problem, right? And you're going to need a bleed, or a bleed immune champion mainly, right? And if they're also bleed and poison immune, that's great. So your robot characters are pretty good here. The best suggestion from me, right, would be Omega Red, right? And this character has a lot of health, right? So you can bring in Quake, right? If you're a very good Quake player, right, bring in Quake, right? You can Quake him, and if you don't manage to get him down the first time, you can bring in Quake a second time, right? He's got 400k health, I think, so it's just going to be a long fight with Quake. Otherwise, the best option for me was Omega Red. I think I went in once with Omega Red. I got him to like 40 something percent health, wasn't playing properly. Then I went in again, right? My Omega Red is like 600 and something, right? Managed to do the job. All you have to do is hit him until you get a bleed on you, right? And then you stay close to him, right? And you let your degen and your death spores do the job, right? So yeah, that is the hardest fight if you don't have a counter for him, right? Somebody that can stop healing, right? Like Clairvoyant would also be good, right? She can remove the regeneration off of him, and she's bleed and poison immune. You just have to switch her phases, but you're mainly going to stay in the Curse of Blood phase for her. Otherwise, that's really it for Crossbones. Those 3 are the best. Of course, Ghost would also be a great option, right? You only have to hit him. You can just hit into him and then dash back, turn all of the bleeds that you get into Furies, and then you'll just knock him out eventually, right? So she'll be able to get him down to 25% health intervals in 15 seconds easily. So if you have a 5-star Ghost, she's perfect for this. And the global node still applies to Crossbones, so you can't really be relying on specials to take him down, unless you want to be getting him to those specials. Then we have Sentinel, the final boss, and immediately I'm going to say this final boss, you can just chip him down, right? Revive method, you can just chip him down. Eventually he will fall, right? He's got no regeneration, nothing special about him. But the global node Hurt Locker, you cannot use the same special twice in a row, right? And if you do, right, then you have a delayed blast charge that you can knock off yourself by landing a heavy attack, or you're going to take the attacker takes 50% of their health as direct damage. So if you do it, you're going to lose 50% health, just like that, right? So just use special 1, special 2, then special 1, special 2. It's not too hard, right? I use Void here, so I was really cycling between special 1, special 2, right? And I suggest this path, which is not necessarily the easiest path. I didn't even look at the other paths, right? But this will look like the easiest path for me because it had no nodes on the first few defenders, and then we go left to the Wolverines and such, right? And like I said, I use Void for this, so reversing all their healing, not really a problem, right? Good, so they all have healing here, Arc Overload 2, Vigorous Assault, and Limber, right? Not really a problem. And then you do have Bane on this Superior Iron Man, so you gotta watch out for that. then you got Angela, and then you port to the Sentinel Boss, the final boss in front of you before you get Cavalier. And he's not a problem. Like I said, he's got no regeneration, so you can eventually just chip him down. He's got all his class advantage stuff against the other classes. So best champions, of course, being Corvus Glaive, Hyperion, and Captain Marvel movie, Medusa too, right? They'll be able to take him down. He's got fisticuffs, plague minded, and he's stun immune. Not really a problem. Like I said, you can just chip him down with high damage cosmic champions if you want. So he's not a problem at all. And then you are Cavalier. You are Cavalier, and you may now get the Cavalier crystals. You can get the daily crystals, the free crystals, everything that comes with Cavalier, and that's about it. But let's move on to the rewards now. I'll go straight to that clip. Alright guys, so here we have the crystal opening, and what we have to open first up is the 5-star rank up gem. We got 5 stars as well of the shard crystals, right? So the rewards, they gave you about 2,000 6-star shards, I think, and then like 5,000 5-star shards, or 10,000 5-star shards, not too sure. And then of course this rank up gem, and what we're looking for from this rank up gem is nothing specific, right? You'll see in a later video that I've got the champions I want. So we have a 2 to 3 gem for skill. I now have two to 3 gems for skill, so yeah, it's fine. If there was a possibility of getting 2 Agons, that would have been great. Yeah, we have the uncollected daily crystals, right? Nothing too important. Here we go. Uncollected. Oh, those were Cavalier ones. Sorry, Cavalier now. Right, okay. We go to the 5 stars now. We got 2 5 stars to open, right? So one of them was given to me. You know, I passed the threshold of 10k from the Cavalier. But I also bought some shards for this opening, right? And we're not going for that feature. I already have a 5-star mojo, and I didn't even really want the 5-star mojo. He's too ugly to play, guys. He's way too ugly to play. So we're gonna open the 2 5-star basics, and what we're looking for is Dr. Doom, of course. Right, can't go wrong with the Dr. Doom. And then second in line we got Ghost. Yeah, maybe you want Ghost a little bit more than Dr. Doom. I have the 5-star Wasp and 5-star Hood, so kind of want Ghost a little bit more than Dr. Doom. But let's go for this. We can do the legacy method, Dr. Doom. Right, let's see if we get a Dr. Doom. Of course, go for more levels on Omega Red. Don't really need it now. I only wanted the levels because of the Cavalier, so I could take out Crossbones easily. We could go for Aegon, right? Then if we get a dupe out Aegon, then the next thing we're going for is Labyrinth of Legends, right? Which is a lot easier with the 5-star Aegon. I have a 4-star, but 5-star is what's needed. And what are we getting? We got Venom dupe. Okay. Oh, so close to that Venom dupe, right? Venom doesn't need the dupe, but we have Storm here. She's got a special too, guys. She's got a special too. She's got that lightning. Yeah, okay. We can come back from that. What's now? We went to the Dr. Doom, but maybe we go for Ghost now. Aegon, I don't know. I feel like that method is really for when you're looking for something specific. But you know what? I'm glad with most things that we get. We could get a Captain America Infinity War 2, get a lot of sig levels on him, right? It's kind of not really what I want because I used the Awakening Gem to get him. But let's see what we get. Hulk is coming at us. Oh, the Kamala Khan. The Kamala Khan. Guys, you know what? We can't be too mad. We have the perfect champions in the game, right? I can't be too mad at a Kamala Khan and a Storm opening. Very unfortunate, but but you know what? That's more champions to the roster. I'm trying to look at this positive. One day if we go into arena, we have 5 stars to take in. Probably never gonna happen, but yeah, that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something, and if you did, leave a like, hit that subscribe button. Got many more videos coming soon, right? And hit that notification bell so you can be notified as soon as those videos come out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your days. Peace.